All right. Hello, everybody. There we go. Hopefully, we'll be able to stay online this time. Oh, well, it's good to be here. It's been a busy day, and I almost forgot all about it. I set everything up, but then I started going about my day, and I usually have an alarm to remind me, and I didn't have it set this time, and just busy working, and suddenly I was like, oh crap, it's in 2 minutes. So anyway, but I'm here. How is everyone doing? Hope everyone had a good week. Um, Definitely seems like a lot of you are excited about the Spirit Companions. That has been a huge hit. I want to say at this point something like 64 have been ordered. So yeah, it's going to be a busy week next week. I have a lot of rituals to do. Um, But we'll talk more. We can talk more about those later. I know a lot of you at the beginning here don't like to talk. You get your requests lined up and just are waiting for me to say go, and so you don't talk. So let's go ahead and let's talk about um, the prayer requests. Remember, write prayer request is the first two words, so I recognize it as a prayer request because I don't read them. Um, Try to keep them simple and to the point. Just stating what you want, and you only need to do one request per. Uh, Only make a request once is what I mean. Just you can put multiple requests in the same thing, but just do it the one time. Don't have the same request over and over again. Um, what else? It's the same as usual. You guys know the drill. Um, it really feels like I'm missing something though. Doesn't matter. Try to make it easy to read. Don't put anything extra in it. You don't need to tell me thank you or anything like that. um I This is a weird little pet peeve I have, but it's everyone tries to be so polite, and I do appreciate it. I really do. But sometimes being polite uh makes things a little bit more, it adds more work. So don't worry about being polite. I know that you are grateful. um you don't need to tell me. So just write your prayer request, and it's simple, so I don't have to. It's like because I think I've read thank you a couple of times, and I try to remember. I try to because I'm just trying to go through it smoothly, and sometimes I forget. Um, Please don't put them in yet. I haven't asked for it. Um, it's okay. I'll still get them, but I just try to keep everything together. Okay, we'll go ahead and put them in then. You don't need to retype those. I'll get them. Uh, but yeah, go ahead and put your prayer requests in. Yep. See, everyone they've got these ready. Okay, we're only taking them for a few minutes, so if you've got something that you would like to pray for, now is the time. While we're doing this, it's been a weird day, but I noticed that I can't remember who it was, which author, if it was Rose Manning or if it was Corn Hargrove, came out with a new book, something like demonic cursing or something. I was like, oh boy, that's just what we need, more curses. No, did Rose come out with a book too? I didn't look at their post. I just saw that some people talking about it. Like I said, it's been busy today. Um, any more prayer requests? But I mean, just in my opinion, the last thing we need is more curses. But if you were here for when I talked about everything that went on, you can see I'm kind of biased against that stuff at this point. We've been through too much. It's weird because I'm usually like, yeah, more magic, more the better. But I was like, when I saw a curse book, I was like, God, really? That's what we're going with? I think we need more love magic out there. All right. Here's the final call. If you want to put your prayer request in, go ahead and put it in now. All right. I'm going to call it there. Thanks everybody for participating and everybody following the rules. Oh, here comes some more, of course. I'll get them. Don't worry. I'm seeing people are forgetting to put prayer requests at the front. That's such a big help for me. So please remember to do that for next week because that's it for now. Again, thank you all for participating. I do appreciate it. And all right. So yeah, today we're going to start the pathworking for water. It's it'll be new with a lot of new scripts. Like when you get to the king and the goddess at the end, like there's usually a big speech, and so it'll be new. It's not. I haven't practiced it a whole lot. I've read it over a few times, but so it might be a little choppy. So I'm just kind of warning you. I'm going to do my best, of course, but um, try to work with me. Um, all right, let's get started. Get the lawman. off my notifications. Okay, let's take a moment, center ourselves, take a few deep breaths. Listen, all you who can hear me. The Father is mysterious, everlasting, and transcendent. The Mother is here and is all things, all that we can see and don't see. We are the holy children, and together we are who create reality and have the privilege to experience and explore creation. Let us join together now as one in prayer and create a new world. We pray in the name of the Father, the Mother, and the holy children. Let our hearts become a holy temple and our minds a holy throne. Enter, God all powerful, and dwell in the temple of our spirit. Let our thoughts be as immaculate light, and our gratitude become an unconquerable power. Ge lava, ge adua yin, ia ida, a oxentaser, a ne rome. Ge monans noan ne sia yan. Ge mana ne oxia yal. Zimi ia idan, ad, theons a sia ian, a gega. Ge engelard noan opir, a ge ekren. Noan ugeg mikals. A prayer for the mother, to the mother for divine authority and power. Galva, show yourself. Sink into me, and bring down the flaming temple of your seething loins upon my mighty sword. Be thou my drunken harlot. I inhabit your throne in heaven in the joy of God. Thunder, understanding underneath me. Groan the secrets of holy mysteries in my mouth, and bring forth the philosopher's stone and become my handmaid. Galva Zamran Karbath Yol, Drixa Yalpor, Sia Ian, De Ge Ure, Dax Mire, Ol Mikalze, Napta, Bo or Orspa, Babylon, Ol Zodirada, Get Axia Yal, In Madriax, Ol Am Mozad, Avavago Miketh, Oraka Ol, Holda, A La Yad, Dene Kiklis, Yol Butman, Yolkam, Adara Noan, O Kirst. She who is the end, mother of all, pray for us. Open the eye of our hearts so that we can see the secret truth of the heavens, so that we can see the face of the Most High, and so that we can become the most powerful. I pray that all confusion of our own power be destroyed. Open our eyes to the truth, that the spirit of man magnifies the spirit of God and is the Holy Spirit. We are the creator. We create creation. I am the Lord your God. I am what I am. Galva extentasa lava lapge. Odo a uanan. Age manans arge argat uan. A layad veowan. De a madriax ar. Ge arget a adoan. De ia ira. Ar ge arget noan a. Ia idan. O lava tor unke. De gi mikalas zirom. Kirasab. Odo. Ge ua an. Tua veowan. Arga cordis. Ovav aga de iad. Ad zir cum gumfi. Ge zirdo arka al. Ge kaaska on. Zirneriad gahuakma. United as one in prayer, we will now banish all curses and wicked spirits. Take a moment and feel how much you hate being oppressed by a curse or a harmful spirit. And as I perform the banishing, transform that feeling into gratitude, as though you are already free. I, Jareth Tempest, by my own name and by my own authority, banish all curses and evil spirits from all who hear my voice and desire liberation. Ol Arpan Tol Alma Ad Tol Babylon God Tol Disopath. In the name of Yah Edan, the all-powerful, and Zilladar, who stretches forth and conquers, I banish all curses and evil spirits from all who hear my voice and desire liberation. Ol Arpan Tol Alma Ad Tol Babylon God Tol Disopath. In the name of Galva, Lady of the Apocalypse and Mother of all angels and abominations, I banish all curses and evil spirits from all who hear my voice and desire liberation. Ol Arpan Tol Alma Ad Tol Babylon God Tol Disopath. I place all who are willing under my wing and my protection. I call upon the mercy of the kings of the four watchtowers, Bata Yiva, king of the Watchtower Exarch, Ra-Agios, king of the Watchtower Hakoma, Igza-Heheka, king of the Watchtower Nanta, and Edlaparna, king of the Watchtower Bitom, to open their gates and send forth their legions to set up a hedge of protection around everyone who is listening to my voice and who desires to be protected. Build an impenetrable fortress around us and keep us safe. Blons par de Sorpath, Yokam Givi Patriarchs de Blonsgay. And now feel your gratitude for being delivered of your oppression and take a moment to know that you are safe and protected. Filled with divine authority and now free from the influence of all harmful spirits, I'll recite the first key to unlock the heavens so that we may summon the angels of the day to do our will. O som vors goho yad balt, lench kal zomfro, soba za all, roar ita nas pad gra ta, malpir dis hol, ka ka'a nathoa zims, ad kamoa ta noblin zion, soba thil ganap, perge alde odd verbs, obele, gersarm, karsarm, or horlia, kaba pir odd zon rezig, kap yadna, pila farms zerza adna, dis gono iapil, dis hom, ad to soba ipama, lui pamis, dis leholo, vepzam piamol, ad bagpa aayi, ta payi piamo, iad veowan zakare, ka ad, zamran orokikle ka a zorge, lap zirdom noka mad heoth ia iada. An invocation for all the angels of Sunday. In the name of Yah Edon and Yabis on this on this day of the sun, I, Jareth Tempest, conjure you, all the angels of Sunday, Lord Sol, the illuminator, king of all the stars, and begetter of vision. O Lord Sol, whose angels nurture and cause the herbs and the trees to bear fruit, who adorns the whole world with majesty, who banishes adversities in the darkness, Lord Sol, the embellishment of priceless things, the beauty and the majesty of pearls, gold, and all precious stones, the glory of kings and the thought of judges. I, Jareth Tempest, conjure you, all angels of this day, servants of Lord Sol, who is inconceivable, incomprehensible, who sees the powers of heaven and understands the splendors of Yah Ida. I conjure you, all the angels of this Sunday, luminous spirits of Lord Sol, the candle that burns before the dark and dreadful Zilladar. I am Jareth Tempest, and you will not disobey me, for I know who I am. I am the child of wisdom and the lover of Galva the mother, the end of all things. I remember that I am Gahoakma, I am what I am. I am Yido Ego, he that sits on the holy throne. I am Yah Edom, the all-powerful. I conjure you by the mysterious and powerful name of the outer circumference Horwin, by the seventh who governs the seven, Hedem Hiai, by the archangel of the sphere, Raphael, by the archangel of creation, Michael, by the unspeakable name of God, Oizir, by the daughter of light, Yana, by the son of light, Demal, by the daughter of the daughter, Izad, by the son of the sun, Liba, by the archangel of the sun, Sameliel, by the rulers of the heptarchy, King Kamara and Prince Baganal, I conjure you, King Bobogel, magnificent king of the sun, and Prince Bornogo, ruler of the hours of Venus, Governor Bonifon, ruler of the hours of Mars, Governor Barnafa, ruler of the hours of Jupiter, Governor Barigas, ruler of the hours of Mercury, Governor Buskanab, ruler of the hours of Saturn, and Governor Bablibo, ruler of the hours of Mars. In your above names and powers I conjure you, all the angelic ministers. Grant your grace, power, virtue, and wisdom in all that I now ask. I, Jareth Tempest, do summon you all now and charge you to obey and to serve me, my wife, my loved ones, all my friends, students, and clients, and all who hear these words, and everyone who calls on you in my name. And carry us all through a life of playful wonder and well-being. Let love, health, abundance, prosperity, success, belonging, victory, freedom, and everlasting joy flow forever into our lives. Be with us and bring us success in all the works we attempt this day, this week, and all the days of our lives. Turn back all foul fortune from us and bring us only good fortune. Guide us where we need to be, teach us what we need to know, and show us what we need to see. I seal this command with a word of power. Agla. A prayer to end suffering. We cry aloud for all who weep. Those whose bodies are in torment, they are healed. Those whose thoughts are confounded, their minds find peace. Those whose lives are lamentation, they are comforted. The lonely find love and the defaced find beauty. Where there is war, we demand peace. Where there are empty mouths, we demand a rich harvest. Where people are poor, we demand gold. Where there is wrath and torment, we demand deliverance and justice for the wicked. Where the wicked reign, we demand righteousness. We do not humbly pray for this, we demand it. Not in time, but this day. We are the holy children. We are God and we are the mother, and we speak with the speech of God. We open our mouths and create heaven out of torment. We invoke all the holy servants of God from all the heavens to create a kingdom of love, a kingdom of peace, a kingdom of joy. We demand the kingdom of heaven this day, so that all weeping is only a memory this night. Ge Baha Noan Tol Dis Raklir, Soba Kiniriman Noan Gemir, Par Noan Kakam, Soba Angalar Noan Unke, Par Mana Noan in Tharze, Par Soba, Apila Noan Iafon, Par Noan Blioria, Asaga Mamans, Raklir Noan Bliorga, Ada Tunu Noan Turbs, Kuian Trian Sam Van Naspad, Gefifis and Tharze, Kuian Datrian Alpha Butman Gefifis Las Azigiar, Kuian Plazi Noan Raklir, Alpha Limlong Gefifis Adkal, Kuian Datrian Zomfo, Ad Mir Gefifis Zonrez, Ad Balch Noan a Babylon, Kuian Babylon Bakpa Gefifis Balto, Gay Ip Zura Lava Noan Oi, Gefifis Ip Capimeo, Oi Buskim, Di Ada Ne Nuromi, Ge Noan Yad, we ex Noan Exentasa, Ad Ge Kamalax Al Laugeth, Ge Oda Butman Akaas Madriax Get Amir, Ge Argetko Tol A Nenokoad, De Iad Al Tol, Madriax, De Kaas Lando de Bliorga, Lando de Tharzi, Lando de Maz, Gefifis a Lando de Madriax A Buskim Ad Raklir, Pampir Oi Virk. A prayer for the dead. We now remember all who have come before us, and we pray for their souls that they find their way to the place of peace and healing in the next world. Feel your desire for your ancestors to help the lost or unhealthy dead, or anyone who has recently died. Then, as we pray, turn into gratitude as though you've received 1,000 blessings from your ancestors. We look back on our ancestral bloodlines and call to those ancient ones who shine with wisdom and love. We honor you, we praise you, and we pray your work in healing the dead in torment. We also pray that you look for all in our bloodlines and light their walk to your home. Shelter the dead in peace and heal their hearts. We praise you, O wise ancestors. We think of you and we sing your praises. We also humbly pray you shine your wisdom and light on all of our works. Get Dorfa, get Teloa, Kinila, Ad Ardget, Desorga, Teloa, de Loholo Miketh, Ad Bliorga, Ge Adrix, Nonke, Ge Oikrimi, Nonke, Ad Lava Nonke Veol, Ga Kakam, Aga Gemir, Ge Lava Nonke Dorfa, Tol A Ge Teloa, Kinila, Opirit, Oi, Insi de Salman, Lanza Teloa Gentharze, Ad Page, Ad Kakam, Oi Manans, Ge Oikrimi Nonke, Kesuega Teloa, Ge Angular Nonke, Ad Ge Oikrimi, Ge Azura, Lava Nonke Loholo Mikath, Ad Opirit, Ketol, Ge Katsibra. A prayer for reconciliation with the world. We pray for the soul of the world and for all her daughters and sons. We repent of destroying her children and despoiling her treasure and making her diminish. Open our eyes so that we can see the spirit community. Open us to hear their weeping. Open our hearts so we can all flourish together. We pray to hear their wisdom and to act on it. Ge lava age ka'a ad tol tir pasabs ad nor ge mua ge ad pazar til naromi ad isra ad til Limla Od Ol Til Perzar, Odo Ge Ua A Una, Ge Uam Uran, Kakaf Off, Zorgega, Odo de Solpeth Oivaklir, Odo Gemanans, Oi Ge Tol Kakam, Ge Lava Solpeth, Oi Mikath Od Swor Te. I pray for health, a prayer for health. In the name of He that lives in supreme life, I invoke the She who is the end. We sing praise to your glory. I pray to you for the health of all who listen to my voice and all of their loved ones. Let your face be friendly and shine healing on us. Repent of our death. Hearken our groans and lamentations. I call on the holy servants of the Son to deliver us from torment. Let us flourish everlasting. Ga'ad dua ian, de iadpil ad yabis, ol argedko galva, ge oi krimi, de gi bustir, oi lava, de gi lap a kiniliman kakam, de tol disolpeth, diobia ad moman fafen, bob odoian, zorge ad loholo, ke ge mua, ge telak, tuatar, ge ugege ad iofan, ol arget a to ne nokad, de avrad zonregs gemir, trion kakam, go ahead. A prayer for pleasure and prosperity. By the name of the highest and the name of the all-powerful, I invoke the mother of all. We praise your mighty beauty and power. I call on all the holy servants of the Son, that I and all who listen and pray are lifted upon the pillar of gladness, and crown us a garland of gold, and girdle us in treasure, and pour down glory and triumph upon us. Grant us a harvest of pleasure and joy. Ga'a dua yin, ya ida, ad ia idan, ol argedko extentasser galva, ge oi krimi nonke kanse turbs ad lanch, ol arget atol ne nokaad, de avor na ol, ad tol de solpeth de lava, ziram farms mirk an nazarth de momar, ge oblek, de atkal, atra a ga ge limlal, ad panpir bustir ad humta mirk, ge, de luga, de asgiar, de kirsahi ad mad. A prayer for love and belonging. I invoke She who is the end, Mother of the world. I pray for all of you who can hear. I pray that all of you who hear my voice is loved and has someone to love. And in her powerful name, I call on all the holy servants of the Son to cast out your loneliness, binding it for time everlasting. And I pray that the true love of your life manifests. I pray that no scorpion separates you. I pray that the two become one. I pray all of you find belonging among loving people. O Argedko Galva Extentasser, O Lava Lapto, Gi Dis de Solpeth, Diol Bria Trion Bliorga, Ad Brid Molap, De Bliorga, Getil Mikalzo, Duayin, Ol Arged A Tol, Ne Nakaad, Dia Roar de Arpan, Gesaga Mamans, Domse, Alar Lap Capimeo Go Head, Ado Lava Ge Veowan Bliorga, Kada, O Lava Ad Siatris de Lab Nonke, O Pre Palopulo, O Lava Lap Tol No One Kafafan, Off Zorge Olag. A prayer for justice. Highest God, measureless light, creator of all things, life supreme, he that lives forever, the just one. Bring forth justice to the government. Cast down the harlots from their thrones and lift up the servant. Give everything to the righteous. Cast down the powerful to hellfire and crown a kingdom of justice. Ia ida, meophas, opirt, ka'a a tafglo, yabis yadpil, io yad, oiad, yolkam bot, dea nata'ab, ardpan Babylon par axia yad, farms a nonka, deluga tafglo diabalit, ardpan amicals de donas dog as mastosos, mo marlando diabalit. And now for your prayer requests. For RC, for speedy recovery for those devastated by Helen and related flooding. Iad Fifis Gagil. For R, that my husband gets a job, that her husband gets a job with his desired salary or better that is good for their family and future. Iad Fifis Gagil. For JG, grant their family and them full protection from all physical threats and violence. Iad Fifis Gagil. For DOS, to clearly find their magical spiritual direction and tribe, that they and their mom win their pending court cases and receive the money that they are entitled to. Iad Fifis Gagil. For TOW, to find financial independence. Iad Fifis Gagil. For DD, for their mother to be healed from insomnia and the pain in her legs and back. Iad Fifis Gagil. For K, to replace the fatigue with vitality. Iad Fifis Gagil. For T, to achieve complete contact with their holy guardian angel. Iad Fifis Gagil. For WB, for their COPD and arthritis in their bones. Iad Fifis Gagil. For GJC, to develop a positive, life-changing relationship with their spiritual companions. Iad Fifis Gagil. For SG, may their financial and medical support arrive so that LJ can regain her health. Iad Fifis Gagil. For the person with the sun emoji. For S to be married to KA. For S, always getting money, having a house in the woods and be happy and healthy with S and grow in all ways. To have children and grow happily old together. Iad Fifis Gagil. For AS, to find a good job quickly in their new place and to finish their studies faster. Iad Fifis Gagil. For SR, for their boyfriend's visa to be approved and to move to France till the last of this year, 2004, and have good luck energy for him. Iad Fifis Gagil. For MK, to fully heal their lungs of all ailments, infections, and diseases. Iad Fifis Gagil. For A of the W, for healing of their right foot, to get the work schedule that they want and to work through the feelings that reading old journals have brought up. Iad Fifis Gagil. For L, to have their business and livelihood protected from any and all legal, regulatory, and financial threats. Iad Fifis Gagil. For AW, to open the roads now to make the medicine work optimally. Iad Fifis Gagil. For MS, for a windfall of money manifesting for them in the physical world right now, for them getting married to their love RS in the near future, and financial and physical healing for their brother and wife. Iad Fifis Gagil. For RB, to secure a dream place that that checks all of their boxes. Iad Fifis Gagil. For KS, for healing and fitness. Iad Fifis Gagil. For LS, to find a part-time job that is fun and emotionally fulfilling. Iad Fifis Gagil. For NA, for renewal and healing in relationship between B and them. For speedy healing and energy for their mother, and sources of income and money flowing in for them. Iad Fifis Gagil. For TTN, finding a fake suitable place for their spiritual growth and financial stability. Iad Fifis Gagil. For LC, to consistently have more monthly income. Iad Fifis Gagil. For SL, for MS to be fully healed, to successfully marry to RS and healthy beyond measure. Iad Fifis Gagil. For MS, for S and K to be happily married and financial windfall for both of them. Iad Fifis Gagil. For D the W, to stop lusting over results, find a mentor in art and how to make it profitable, release stress and anxiety, better communication and confident social presence. Iad Fifis Gagil. For TV, for all their Aries traits to be amplified, manliness, charisma, passion, and independence, confidence, and decisiveness are the traits that they want to fully embody and integrate into their life. Yod Fifiskagil. For PF, to cure their insomnia and help them fall asleep easily whenever they desire. Yod Fifiskagil. For FB, that AB is fully healed, abundant financially, and finds new love and living her dream life. Yod Fifiskagil. For SD, for the RS and MS be married, healthy, and abundant. Yod Fifiskagil. For GK, to remove all blockages that block their magic. Yod Fifiskagil. For TZ, to have high energy and mental focus during the week, and for their knee to not hurt when exercising. Yod Fifiskagil. For ZH, for the house in Mexico to be sold fast at the price that their mom is asking for. Yod Fifiskagil. For LCE, that SD and MS are successful in their businesses. Yod Fifiskagil. For MS, to heal their insomnia. Yod Fifiskagil. And now we pray for the unspoken desires that we hold in our hearts. Feel the desire for what you want, and then state out loud or in your mind what it is that you want, and then transform that feeling into gratitude as though you've already received it. Lord, answer our prayers. Yod Fifiskagil. We sing praises to your name. De oi krimi, de gi duayin. And now for the pathworking. Path 17. The first path of feeling. The path of dream control to control your dreams. Close your eyes and imagine yourself walking out your door. Imagine you begin to walk west. It is raining. You come to a creek. You follow the creek. As you follow the creek, it widens and grows, and it empties into a lake. You find a boat, and you take the boat out into the still water of the lake. Eventually, the lake empties into a river. You follow the river down. As you go, more rivers join, and the waters swell and flow. Finally, the river meets the sea. The great ocean spreads itself before you into infinity. The waves crashing against a single solitary tower that rises from the waters into the sky. This is the angelic Watchtower of Water. It is tall and made of blue stone. Hold the image of the blue Watchtower of Water as I say. May we enter and safely pass through this blue Watchtower of Water. May we successfully traverse the first path of feeling, the path of dream control. May we obtain success in this initiation so we may control our dreams. We approach closer to the watchtower, and we see the amethyst gate, its doors closed. Before the doors is the angel guardian Paco. He is a masculine angel with small wings. He wears a yellow robe. He holds an opal that bestows knowledge. Try and hold this image in your mind as I say, "Oh, Paco, I call to thee. Come and open for me the amethyst gate of the Watchtower of Water which you guard. I ask to gain entry by the threefold secret holy name, Mepa, Arcel, Ga'ik. I open the gate with the key of water. O Thil Lazdib, Babge, A Dorfa Goholo, Ge Kis Gi, A Eu A U Ago, Kormpa, Pe Dansev, V Ve Di, Ve Kasarim, O Ali, Mop, Ma Sabab, Ag, Kormfo, Ka Rep, Kasarmage, Kor Ad Ziv, Kis Ad, Vireg, Dist, Ka Pi Mali, Kis Ka Pi Ma, An, Longshim, Kis Ta Lo, Kla Torga, Nor, Kirasahi, Ad, Fe, Kiasaga, Bagle, Zir Ne Naa, Ad disi ad apila do a o a ip ka a ol zakar ad zamran oblesong resk el eaf nur molap. Paco walks up to you. A light shines about him. The light shines into you, penetrating you completely as he embraces you. He says, I am the angel of water. I am the angel Paco. I am the guardian of the amethyst gate. Enter the Watchtower of Water. The amethyst gate opens. As you approach the gate, there is writing above it. As in one root, there are many divisions, so in the stem and the branches are many separations. Walk through the gate into the Watchtower of Water. The floor and the walls are made of blue stone. You feel the power of the waters moving through the stones. Joy, fear, love, anger, calm, and hate move through the stones like waves, ever changing with the tides. You feel the flow of all feelings. Something inside you wants to open and surrender to them, to open up and to receive all the rushing currents of the heart. I will repeat the threefold secret name for protection. Mepa, Arsal, Gayak. Mepa, Arsal, Gayak. Mepa, Arsal, Gayak. And now we come to a stairway leading up. Before it stands another angel. They are a graceful, beautiful, feminine cherubic angel with small wings. She wears a deep violet robe. She holds an amethyst that bestows true and lasting love. You can feel powerful energy coming from her, penetrating you and filling you. She says, I am the cherubic angel of water. I am the cherub Magal. I am the guardian of the birch stairway. They embrace you, and again you feel their light shine through you. They say, throughout eternity, I manifest myself from earth to water within water. Read the words written above the birch stairway and rise up through the Watchtower of Water. You begin to climb the steps of the birch stairway, and as you read the words, this is he that sealeth up the second hell with the second death. At the top of the stairs, you enter the floor of the water within water and see a blue stone fountain. The air is cool and damp like a cave. You see a second staircase. The words above the stairway read, the spirit that speaks to you is she that has a tower to build, a strong tower and a mighty tower. Yea, such a one has not been from the beginning. Great is the foundation thereof, for it is of iron. But greater are her walls, for they are of diamond. Most great are her turrets, for they are the 7 heads that behold, judge, and gather. And they are made of truth, the spirit of eternity. Under the lying of every stone are you made privy. For this tower you are provided. We now climb the second stairway. At the top of the stairs is another angel. They are feminine and wear a crimson robe. You feel power emanating from her that brings understanding of sorrow and suffering and all manner of feeling. Unafraid, approach her. She embraces you. She is soft and beautiful. She says, I am Maladi, they who shoot arrows. I am the angel of the cross of water. I bear the cross of water from water to air within water. The floor of air within earth, within water, has a cool, wet breeze. You see a third stairway. Above this one is written, lift up yourselves as the servants of God, and help to bring stones into the building of this great city, that you may be openers of the gates, and that the white horse may enter, and that he that enters may reward you with honor. Climb the third stairway. It is cool and dries and smells of myrrh. You now step out into the tier of fire within water. You see 2 majestic nude angels, the king of the Watchtower of Water, Raagios, and the goddess of the Watchtower of Water, Gaia Roes. If you identify as male, stand before the king. If you identify as female, stand before the goddess. Listen to their descriptions and try to visualize them both. Creative power flows out of them. Their nature is to make things. You sense that they like to place living things into bodies. Their presence fills you with a sense of life giving creativity. to express infinite spiritual ideas through finite form. You can feel that they can bestow the gifts of healing and longevity. King Ragios wears a blue crown on his head and holds a golden cup in his left hand. The goddess Geavrois wears a violet tiara on her head covered in blue hair. She holds a blue chalice that is inscribed with the magic word Traum in yellow in her right hand and a mirror in her left hand. Now embrace the king or goddess. Feel yourself melt into them and transform into them. Again, if you are King Ragios, you are a beautiful man with a blue crown and a gold cup in your left hand. And you are the goddess Geavrois. You are beautiful with blue hair, a violet tiara, and hold a blue chalice that is described with the magic word Traum in yellow in your right hand and a mirror in your left. Now continue to imagine that you are the king or goddess and turn towards your consort, who now faces you in the nude. Imagine you say, "Let the daughters of light take up their garments. Let them open the windows to their secret chamber. Show yourselves to be gods. Yea, perform that which you have already promised. Gather your vestures together, for those who are sick have need of help. You are the children of pity, and in the loins of compassion do you dwell. Come, gather up your garments, for the cankers are ripe, and the biting worm seeks to gnaw into the lily. Now smile at each other as though you are in love. Slowly move towards each other and embrace. As I say the word Hakoma, merge God King and Goddess of the Waters together, as you also try to hold the image of the blue stone watchtower around you. Hakoma, Hakoma, Hakoma. Continue to hold the image as I read. The works of the Spirit quicken, the doing of the flesh undo distraction. May I have understanding and cast away pride. By truth, understanding may I learn. First to know myself, what I am, of who I am, and to what I am. This understanding causes no self-love, but a spiritual self-love. This understanding teaches no blasphemy. This understanding teaches no fury. May it teach me to be angry, but not wrathful. For I may be angry and not offend, but wrath is to damnation. Is God a God of justice? May I therefore, a just servant. No man inherits the kingdom of eternity without he conquer in this world. No man can challenge justly a reward without he be a conqueror, or do the works of justice. Does the world not like me? It is for two causes, either for that I live well and not as a worldling, or else because my wickedness is such that the world wonders at it. If I am in the first, I will rejoice, for blessed are those whom the world hates. When they laugh at my good godliness, I will be sorry and grieve at their sinfulness. My garland is godliness, my breastplate is humility, and upon my back I wear patience. A light begins to build within you. It builds and builds, as do the feelings of power flowing through you. Suddenly the light grows so bright that you are blinded. A moment passes, and you are yourself again, standing in a boat outside the angelic Watchtower of Water. Let us now turn towards the land and sail back to ourselves. A prayer for union with the divine. While we thank Karanzam for the blessing and wonder of ourselves when we see the truth, we pray for divine knowledge. Fill us with wisdom. Open our hearts, minds, and eyes so that we understand that we are not poor wretches, but we are the holy children of the Holy Mother. Help us to understand that we are one with the Mother, as she is one with the Father, and as they are one, so are we all one. Ge oe krimi kuranzam lapa obela, tilab, arget, ge uran veowan, ge lava lap yadna, deluga ananael, Odo gemanen manans anoan ge om ge ipam apakama. Krip noan ne kurzis diani nexentasser. Deluga oma ge noan saga oxentasser. Copy noan yad. No mig polo saga, noan saga. The closing prayer. We praise you, all the holy servants of God. We praise you, Mother of the world, and we praise you, God Most High. Let us, holy children, go forth in love and power to speak the speech of God into creation and create a kingdom of heaven. Ge oakrimi to ne nakaad dia iad. Ge oakrimi nonke exentase. Ge oakrimi yad yada. Trion ge ne neuromi tustax. Ge bliorgia. Ad vohim de kamliax a laugeth. Ge de ka ad kaas lando de madriax. In the name of the Father, the Mother, and the Holy Children. Gea duayan a oxentasa a neneromi. Paid. All right. So, how did you guys like the first pathworking of the Watchtower of Water? Intense. Yeah, there was some intense bits. Oh, that's those. Someone saying the images came effortlessly. That's good. That's what we like to hear, is that it just kind of flows. Does anyone have any um, sorry, my mind's a little still kind of coming back. Any results or anything that they'd like to share? Uh, well, over the last couple of weeks since we've been here. The angel of suffering and pain. They weren't the angel of suffering and pain. They're the angel who understands all suffering and pain. Just to be clear. No, and thank you, and thank everyone. So, does anyone, I guess, have any questions or anything that they want to talk about? Someone saying that September is the most important week in their job, and that the prayers have helped them to make have good results this month. So that's amazing, awesome. Thank you. Yes. So yeah, if you're a water sign, then this might, or if you have a lot of water in your chart, this might will hit hard. Just like whenever we get to any of the watchtowers that you have a lot of stuff, and like I have, I'm an air sign, so when we get to air, that will be the fun one for me. So yeah, does anyone have any questions about anything? The spirit companions or the oh, awesome! Someone got the raise they asked for. That's amazing. Congratulations. Um, yeah, but does anyone have any questions about like the ritual work that I just started offering, or the spirit companions, or anything? Or I mean, it doesn't have to be anything like that, but just anything. Doesn't it rain a lot in Wales? I know it's raining. Like here, it's dry. Obviously, I'm over on the in the desert out in the west, but I know that there's a lot of water happening out east. We got cities that have just been swept away. It's pretty horrible. Post. Someone's asking if I could post some path workings into the 151 study group of the enemy. Which pathworkings do you mean? These? I can't post these because they're coming from another book, and so there's a copyright issue. The book is in the name and the title of the book, and the authors are in the description. So if you wanted to get the book, it's out there. What was my experiences with the spiritual companions? They're like, I mean, they're magical companions. Like I go for them for um, help with most practical magic, um, stuff like that. Mainly is that I'm not going to get into a lot of the personal stuff. Like, um, but yeah, I mean, they're basically there to help you in almost any way that they can, according to that planet. Um, but I have a really good relationship with that group of spirits, and I have a really powerful relationship with their mother Galva, who's sort of my patron goddess, you might say. Let's see here. Would I consider making a video about how to make a chi ball? There are a few out there, but all right. See, okay, you put your hands together, kind of like this, and you just you activate the energy in your head. Like, um, what do you guys want? I'll send. I don't know. I can't think of anything everyone would enjoy, so I won't send it to everybody. But um, just put your hands together like this and think the spirit's name, and let the energy flow. It'll flow out of your hands. Use your imagination and imagine a ball of energy between your hands, and then turn it loose. I mean, that's really all it is. It's not hard. Like, I think most people's problem is that they overthink it. And it's really just as simple as I say. Just put your hands close together and imagine forming a ball of energy between them. All right, so the difference between spirit companions and spirit familiars. It's a nuanced line, and mainly the difference is a familiar is more of a servant that is given to you by another spirit to do your bidding. That is, most people treat them as though they are a temporary servant that you kind of make a pact with. And usually, when people think of familiars, they're thinking of demons. Um, it doesn't have to be that way because the Olympic spirits give familiars as well. And I don't think you really have to update it. I've never found like when you get the familiars from you do the Abramelin ritual, you don't need to update those; they're forever. But there's not a huge difference. The big difference to me is really just there's a difference between a servant and a companion. A companion is a friend, and you should look at them as a friend who is going to be there as like a guide and a protector they're going to help you. They're going to be an ally in every way. And the other big difference is the sexual component. There and then the sexual alchemy. Like, I don't know if it would be appropriate to have a sexual relationship with a familiar. That would be almost like, I don't know, taking advantage of a servant, I would think. Whereas the family of light, for whatever reason, is a highly sexual group of spirits, and it's not going to offend them in any way. They're pretty forward about it. And but on top of that, they're incredibly powerful, and we're not dealing with just like succubus or an incubus. These are very, very powerful. We're getting these spirits from angels that outrank archangels. So these are very powerful beings who um, yeah, they're just they're it's I think it's kind of like it's just more like a power level and a just kind of a your attitude about them should be a little different from a familiar because again they're a companion more than a servant. So that's the big difference. Where was I? Having an attunement with a certain spirit would make a method such as demons of magic or goetic pathworking unnecessary to access summon the same entity. Uh, yes, it's. I mean, it's an alternate way of working with a spirit. Like you can still work. You can have an attunement and still do a path working. But if you have the attunement, you don't have to do the path working. But you can also access a spirit through the path working if you don't have an attunement. And it's like it's just like there are so many. There are all these different ways of working with spirits, and this is just another way. If you had more than one companion, could they work with each other on something? I mean, yes, and you can talk to them about it, and you can talk to both of them about it at the same time. Like a lot of this, I know I know that I'm going to be overwhelmed with the amount of questions people have, and so many times my answer is going to be, it's you go to them and see what they're going to say and what they want to do, and how they can do it, and like they're really going to be very helpful, hopefully. And I've given as good as instructions as I can on how to learn to communicate with them. And but yes, the simple answer is yes. They can all work together. Like certain planets have powers that kind of overlap. There's several different ones for like business. You can work with Mercury, and you can work with Jupiter, and you can technically work with Saturn on come together to help your business grow. And they're each going to probably be like, well, I can help in this way, and I can help in that way, and we'll do this. And you'll put together a plan of kind of how they can help you when we all work together. Um, if I were on a desert island and could only take 5 books about magic with you, what books would you take with you? Um, damn. So to be honest, I would probably take Essential Enochian from Aaron Leach because it's got pretty much everything you need to do Enochian that I wouldn't be able to remember. But fuck, I would have to do all my own. I would need my own notes. Where's my note? I want my stuff. And yeah, I want my own notes. That's what I want is my own stuff. I don't want anyone else's really. Um, but honestly, if I had a book that explained Enochian, having all the charts and stuff and things in it, and where I could get all that, that's really all I need. I don't need anything else. Everything else I can do out of my head. But if you're just gonna make me pick some books, I can't think of any. I don't work out of books anymore. It's almost all stuff that I've come up with myself. So yeah, some books that just help me understand, remember the Enochian, and then maybe yeah, like the Enochian dictionary, so I can have the words, and then I don't know, Quaria, the three big Aquaria books because I would probably much cover anything else I might need. So yeah, that would be it. Essential Enochian, the Enochian Dictionary, and the Aquaria Initiate, um, Novice. Is it Novice, Initiate, and Adept? I don't remember even what their three are, but those three. Yes, I'm sorry, you did miss prayer requests. We're already through with that. Damn lost studies. Are the companions always around like the HGA, or are they called? They're always going to be there. They're really easy to call. Like, there's not going to be a path working for them because really all you got to do is close your eyes, say their name. They're going to be there. They're not internal the way the Holy Guardian Angel is, but they're going to be around, and they're super easy to call. Are tools and sigils necessary for magic? Absolutely not. They are not. They can be fun. They can help. They're almost entirely there for you as a beginner. Most the biggest thing about becoming an adept is moving those things from being physical objects to being just in your head. I can do a full ritual in my head, swords, cups, the whole thing, but it's in my head, and I don't need because I can use my imagination. I have a sword in my head, in my hand, in my head, and I can just imagine doing the whole thing. So no, you don't need tools. You just need to be able to use your imagination. Because imagination really is the. All right, I think she's okay. Imagination really is your main tool for doing magic. And what magic would you recommend for improving the imagination? There's an angel called Yisrael. It's one of the 42 angels. So it's in my Archangel Pathworking book, and it's also in Angels of Alchemy. And they improve imagination. Anything else? You don't. Okay, so the question is, since we can't do custom Enochian rituals for specific targets, I'm assuming for love or for because I don't do curses either. Can we map strategically each step for our goals, like reconcile, generate love? I mean, to a point, I'll cut you off at a certain point. Like I mean, the thing is, like, if you tell me you know that's what you're doing, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to. I don't I don't believe in doing those things, and so I'm not going to help you do those things. Like I was the victim of an obsession spell, and it's horrible. The person's name is still in my head, like almost every day, and this happened in fucking college. Um, so no, I don't. I don't believe in those kinds of in that kind of magic. I don't think you should do it, and I'm not going to help you do it. Exactly. Love rituals are curses in disguise. I mean, the person doesn't want to love you, and you're making them love you. That's not that's not love. And that's the other thing is like I don't even know if it's really love. I think it's obsession, and I'm not touching it. I think that's gross. I honestly I think it's akin to rape. You know, you're removing someone's consent. You know, there's things you can do. You can be seductive. You can make yourself more lovable. You can do things to make, to become maybe more like what someone wants. But um, I think you're crossing a line when you try to force somebody. Any other questions? It's crazy. Like I get so many questions, like messages, like almost almost constantly. And then like I'm here and I'm like, okay, give me questions, and no one has my. There's not that much going on. So I wish the people that had all the questions would log on to this thing. Because yeah, I mean, God, I was a little. There's a guy who messaged me a week ago, asked me when my next book was going to come out, and I said, well, when I get a chance to write it, I'll have to write it, but I haven't got anything even started yet. And then they were like right now, like, okay, when is your next book coming out? I'm like, it's been a week, dude. Like, what the hell? And then someone else messaged me telling me I needed to rewrite the manual for the Spirit Companions because I didn't fully explain what username was. And like, is that the name? Is that the name I want my Spirit Companion to be, or is that my name? I'm like, it's the user's name. Like, how much do I have to spell stuff out? And like, that's my biggest frustration is just like, and it's not that they were confused. That's fine if you're confused, but it's you need to rewrite this, or you need to make this clear. It's your fault. I don't understand this. And it's like, everyone else gets it. So, okay. About omnipotence level 2, I want the spirits of level 2, but not level 1. Why do I have to have level 1? Because they work together, and I don't, I didn't offer them as individuals for a reason, because it's safer for them to work together. And even when you're just working with one of them through the attunement, they're all still kind of there, and it evens out the effects. So that's why, because they're known to be quite disruptive if you work with them individually. Yeah, someone's saying it's the entitlement. I'm deeply concerned about. Well, see, okay, someone's saying working with customers is tough. Even the gallery encourages people to read thoroughly, and these things still happen. People are too impatient and skim the books. It's not so much that I mean, yes, they do skim the books and they absolutely need to read stuff, but it's very obvious when people haven't read. Um, but the gallery hides from their students. They don't, I mean, from their customers. They don't have, you can't just, you can message them like on Facebook through their page, and they may or may not answer. But, and like even the Patreon, I think Damon says he's not really going to answer too many questions. Like they're for the longest time they've really hid. They don't want to deal with people. I'm sorry, Danny. I'm not going to argue about it. I've given you my explanation, and that's why. That's it's built that way for a reason, and that is the reason that I feel that's how it needs to work. And that's take it or leave it. That's kind of. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not trying to be a dick, but like, yeah, there's three. There already are multiple of them together, but um, it's constructed that way to make it effective and to make it less disruptive and to make it, safer. But anyway, yeah, my biggest problems with there is like the people seem to be unable to extrapolate data from information. Like if the question's not explicitly answered in words that they recognize as answering that question, they can't infer an answer from it. Like in the filthy grimoire, I forgot to say that you can do more than one ritual in a day. But I never said you can't do more than one ritual in a day. And the concept of only doing one ritual a day, I don't know where that concept might have come from. And within the book, I give multiple examples of how to use the rituals in a strategy and talk about doing several rituals in a row, which should heavily imply that you can do more than one ritual a day. And yet that is probably one of the most common questions I get is, can I do more than one ritual a day from the filthy grimoire? And it's like, that's the kind of thing that like, that doesn't, it's not it's not like it upsets me or something. It's like, I don't understand how you can't make that connection. And the inability to make that connection is to me it's troubling. And it's like I keep hearing about like um you know people young people who are just entering the workforce and like certain difficulties that they're having because like people around my age and are remember when computers didn't work and you had to make them work. You had to, like you couldn't just plug one into the other and just they could talk. It was like it was hard and there was a process and we had to deal with floppy disks and zip drives and stuff. And then like I remember like when I came out of prison, basically computers just worked. Like you can just click an app and then it works and you hardly ever have to do anything to them. And so younger people today are joining the workforce and they don't understand, like they don't have very much computer literacy, even though they're on computers all the time. Because they never had to make it work. And sometimes I worry that like the kind of stuff that I've done, the Gallery of Magic has done, and the Core and Hargrove has done, we're feeding into that same kind of mentality of like where the magic just works, and people aren't taking any kind of time to think about how to make it work, or everything is just getting so simplified that no one's having to really think about it. And so yeah, it's just a thing that I sometimes worry that maybe I'm feeding something that isn't going to be as helpful as I had hoped it would be. That it might be hurting people in a certain way. How do we cross the abyss? And if practice every day, and sometimes I feel routine. Um, so crossing the abyss, I mean, I don't know what you're doing, but usually once you start the process, it's not something that you need to work on. It's to use the words of Josephine McCarthy. It's like you do that ritual, and it triggers something in your fate pattern in which your life suddenly was going this direction, and now because you've triggered that, now it's going to go this way, and you're heading into the abyss, and there's nothing you can do at that point to try to steer away from it. You're going down that road, and that's kind of how I think of it. And a lot of times, though, it it triggers itself. I mean, it'll automatically do it whenever you reach a certain level of spiritual maturity. And And so if you're trying to do it and you don't seem to be getting anywhere with it, it probably means that you've already done it in some way, or you're in it and just don't realize it. Because there's not really a process to it other than just like deciding to do it and then doing it. And then it just kind of plays out from there. It's like you knock that first domino over and it's just going to happen. And you're going to find yourself, and again, crossing, for those who maybe aren't familiar with the concept, but it's basically the dark night of the soul. In other words, it's the you're going to be you're exposing yourself fully to divinity and one of its more primal forms, which is nothingness. It's imperceptible to your physical senses, and so it's just not there anymore. And you don't feel anything from it, and it's a very numb, dry feeling. And that's, divinity as opposed to flowing into you as love or joy. It's just nothing. And you're just, that's why it's described as the abyss. It's just nothing. And you just work through it, and eventually you'll get to the other side. You'll you just have to keep doing the work and be introspective and just keep at it and keep going. And if you quit, you're just going to make it last longer. So keep doing the work and keep sticking with it. And the work, by what I mean doing the work, is just do your spiritual practices, praying, meditating, doing ritual magic, whatever you do, just keep doing it. And one day it'll suddenly come back. It'll be like you'll feel that love and joy again. But and then you can do the visual, like visually crossing the abyss, but in which case you're going to visualize you in the middle of a whole bunch of nothing. It's like, that's what it is. It's just nothing. But it's not permanent, and you'll eventually get to the other side, and it'll be fine. I know what you mean. I got my youngest sibling an entry-level job in my office, and they don't want to hinder conference, but I worry about the problem-solving skills and reading comprehension. Yeah, it's reading comprehension and problem-solving skills and critical thinking skills are our education system has been gutted since 2000 or something, and even before that it wasn't great, and they just keep ripping more out of it. Like they were already kind of gearing everything up to teach the test when I was in school. And yeah, I mean, once you start just doing that, then you're not teaching the subject anymore. You're just teaching the test. And when you do that, you're not teaching. The point of education is not to fill your head with just information. It's to teach you how to think. And our education does not seem to be teaching people how to think anymore. And obviously, consumerism is all about providing the customer with the best product they can, and is simply to make it as simple and as comfortable to use as they can, because whoever produces that best product is supposed to win in capitalism. So everyone's making things easier and easier, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but when you couple that with the education system not being there, there's a lot that needs to be filled in by the individual, and the individual may or might not even know that they need to be doing more reading on their own and studying on their own and doing stuff. And it's definitely creating, I think that the average reading level of Americans right now is 6th grade. And 6th grade is when they start expecting you to be able to read something and interpret it and start thinking about what you read. And that means about half the country can't do that. And I think they've said that the average IQ in America is now 97 when it was 100. So it's gone down a little bit, but and again that's average. That means about half of the people are below that. And IQ is not just some inborn ability. It's very much something that can be nurtured. And we're not nurturing smart people who know how to think anymore. And I don't want to be all conspiratorial about it, but I don't think that people in power want people who know how to think. They want people to know how to do their job just enough to get the job done and not complain. Right. So someone's saying simplified magic is both good and bad. It's good for those who can't dedicate their life to magic and studying magic, which is like that's the whole. To me, that was the point of it all, was to help people. Yeah, not everyone can just dedicate their life to this stuff and study it. It's complicated, it's hard, and the information is scattered across all of these different books. So it's really hard to even know where to start. And I get that. I'm not trying to say that everyone's bad magicians or anything. Like I understand it's the complication of it. So I'm not. And again, like I understand that people um, just want something that they can use to make their life better. And so I try to fill that void with, that need with, simple, very as magic that is as simple as possible. And I also realize that like people really are different today. People have shorter attention spans. People have, um, it's very difficult. And like ADHD is a real problem, and a lot of people have it. My wife has it, and I see the struggle that people have with it. And so it's very difficult for people to just sit there and learn to meditate. And so I've tried everything I can to create a system of magic that works, that helps people grow, and um, and can work with that shorter attention span. And that's really the big deal with attunements with me, is like you don't have to do a whole long meditation or anything to start getting that energy to flow. Just say it 3 times and get it going, and then do whatever you need to do with it. And it's like I feel like I've brought it down so low and made it as just as easy and simple as I can. And people are still like, make it easier. And I'm like, man, I'm doing it. I'm trying what I can. I'm doing the best I can. And I just want people to try to work with me and just meet me somewhere in there. And like, because I'm trying. That's the thing. Like, I can't put into words how much I try. This is how what I think about it every day when I'm working on these projects. Is like, how can I make this as simple as I can? And then like I still get all of these people like daily that are just like, I don't get it. Make it easier. It's like I'm trying. I really am, but it's like there's it's a certain, you can see. I'm sure you guys hear my frustration almost every week when certain uh, questions come in. But anyway, that's me venting about the difficulties of working with people. And exactly. So someone's saying they had to kick someone out of their DMs from one of the groups because they kept asking to explain every line of the manual line by line, and you repeat yourself over and over and over and over. And the reason the person's probably asking you is because I've already probably quit talking to them. And and I understand a lot of it. Like some of it, a lot of what I get is people whose English is not their first language and stuff like that. And I get that. And And there's some very real cultural differences in how people approach each other and stuff. And like I, there's certain people like I can tell where they what part of the world they're in just by how they start their conversation with me. And I like people. People in India tend to be very, very, very polite and very nice and very um, to the point of almost being too nice. I'm like, please stop, please don't stop calling me sir and master and all that. And then there's people who I'm not going to try to badmouth any particular place, but then they're just like, why you don't help me more? And I'm like, go to hell. Um, yeah, I'm sorry you missed the prayer quest. You missed the whole thing. We're kind of at the end. I'm kind of wrapping things up. I'm about to leave. Um, but yeah, like I mean, Americans definitely have some problems. Don't get me wrong, but there's some other parts of the world where like just basic politeness doesn't seem to be um, uh, done on the same level. And I understand every like there's some very real cultural differences, and I try not once I realize that that's what's going on, I try not to hold that against somebody. Um, and especially if they don't understand the language and have difficulty, that's a different problem. Um, that really is actually easier to deal with than the people that just kind of want me to spoon feed everything. Which and again, I'm not trying to be like everyone has to do it my way, and it's just some basic. Um, just work with me. If you're coming to me, please work with me, and don't be a jerk. Um, and we'll try to work through it. But I guess if no one has anything else, I'm going to head out. Um, I've got a bunch of spirit companions to start working on tomorrow. Tomorrow's when I'm going to start doing those, and I haven't finished counting up, but I thought the moon and the sun and Jupiter were the most, but I was actually when I was adding them up, Venus took it. Like Venus is exponentially big. More people want spirits of Venus than anything else. That was interesting. And I know, like what you're saying there, that most people, and by far, most of my of you guys are great and are very polite and helpful. It's a minority. They just tend to be a loud, angry minority. So the turnaround time for the spirit companions should hopefully be the day that I get it. I'm gonna. I should have a system where I have um, I just have to plug the name into the sigil, and then I can get that out. So I should be able to get the spirit, and then send you the notification either the day of or the next day, or depending on how busy things. It might take another couple of days, but so it should be whatever day I do the ritual on, like that day or the day or the next couple of days. I should get your event. So all in all, it should be like you know a weekish, depending on what what day you're ordering versus what day the spirit needs to be done on. And and if you're hitting me too close to the day of, I might have to wait till the next week to get there. Like if you ordered on like if you put an order in right now, I wouldn't be able to get it done today, so you'd have to wait till the next week type thing. I'm not going to try to put like a set thing on it, but it should be a week within a few days, give or take. Um, it's so much more simple than a servitor. It's I don't have to create anything, and I'm not trying to create an image, and I'm not trying to. And this is the thing, like, and again, that thing I'm talking about, where you have to kind of work with me a bit, is I can't make a list of powers. That's impossible. It's everything that planet can do, and I'm giving you. It's in the manual already. It's that chunk that talks about what the personality and powers of that planet. That's what you're gonna. That's what you got. And you just have to figure out from there. If it says business, then it can handle anything in business. And if it says love, it's going to be able to handle anything in love. And you've got to kind of work with it on that. Because I can't just make a whole bunch of gallery of magic type power lists for this. I'd be here forever. Um, the writing that manual would be insane and take forever. And if I'm going to move on these and get it out in any kind of time, that's the compromise that we're kind of have to make there. And that's the other thing. A lot of times, a lot of the reasons I don't have more information that everyone would like is because it would take much longer to produce. And I'm already creating two attunements a week, which is already crazy. No one else does that. And do all this other stuff on top of it. So that's why, like, I don't have like the correspondences for all the spirits in every attunement, or include a pathworking and all. It would slow the process down so much that we'd have 50 attunements, whereas we have over 300. So that's the compromise that we have to do. So yeah, I'm sure we're gonna, that'll be a learning process for everybody, is figuring out the powers and what they can do. But the awesome thing is, it's planetary magic, and planetary magic is easy to Google because it's like the foundation of most magic. Like, so many of the spirits we work with are already planetary. The archangels, as you know, their powers and stuff, the 7 major archangels, they're already planetary. And so if you can imagine what Raphael can do, then you know what a spirit of Mercury can do for the most part, or so on. And because it's the same stuff. It's all the same. Those powers that go with those planets. But like the Goetia are planetary. Each of those, like Duke means one planet, and President means another planet, and I forget which one is which. I'd have to look it up. But it's all already planetary. And so you can use all of those different things to get ideas of what a spirit of that planet can do. You can look at the Solomonic Pentacles and see what those do. And because those are planetary, and they can all give you ideas of what these can do, because they can access anything that's part of that sphere of power. And the only thing that's different are the Enochians have a few slight things, but it's all in there. With as much information as D left us, it's all already there. So, like, Mars was about the waters and oceans and knowing about the mysteries of the deep. Use that for what it's worth. That's the addition that Mars has with the Enochian system. And so each of them have, but it's all there. And so there's nothing new I can really explain to you. This is going to be a thing where you're going to work with your spirit, and you're going to hopefully, through the relationship, figure things out. And yes, I intend to keep the attunement servitor. I may lower the price of the attunement servitor down a bit, but I'm not going to lower the price of the custom servitor if I even continue to keep it. I'm not sure if I'm even going to keep it, because it takes so much longer than anything else. And the attunement servitor is at least easy enough that it's like I don't have to change anything. Everything is the same. And I can just plug in the new information. As far as the paperwork goes, I still have to do the work of making it. But we'll see how that goes. Right now, I've got 60-something spirit companion rituals to do. So hopefully I can get all that done this week, and then after that I can start thinking about, hopefully things will even out again, and I can start thinking about what comes next. Speaking of the elements, well, I wasn't speaking of the elements, I was speaking of the planets, but some say the Archangel Michael is air and holds a sword. Some say fire, and it messes. Okay, so the way that I see the four archangels, Michael is fire, Raphael is air, Uriel's earth, and Gabriel is water. And you don't want to confuse, like, those, are also planetary ones. You don't want to confuse the planet with the element. I mean, you can kind of carry it through, but just because a planetary, an elemental power doesn't mean the planet necessarily has the elemental power. D does put Michael as the sun. No, he puts Michael in Mercury and Raphael as the sun, which I believe is actually the more accurate to Kabbalah. But again, the powers overlap so much. There's no, but yeah, most of the time you look at the powers of what, like, Raphael has, and that's really the powers that, like, the way it's usually, like, in the Gallery of Magic and Archangels of Magic, the powers of Raphael would be the powers that the spirit companion of Wednesday would have, or have Mercury. Anyway, it gets confusing because there's no consensus to anything, and everyone has a different opinion of what that is. Like, to me, I've always done Earth is the north, fire is the south, water is west, and air is east. And I think the gallery switches some of that, and I never did it the gallery the way they do it. And of course, then, like, there's all the other stuff, like the east is the sword, and the sword is action and everything that goes with all of that. So, but it's all just a way of understanding the symbolism. I was talking to my Cheyenne stepdad, and they kind of have the same thing, but it goes a different direction, and it's different. The medicine wheel has different correspondences, and does that mean that they're wrong? No, it just means that they work with it in a different way. So it's really an issue of what feels right to you, what feels true to you, and then once you pick, just to stick with it and don't worry about what other people might say or teach. So that's my thoughts on that. And I do need to get going now, so I will talk to you all later. I will see you next week, and hopefully most of you will have your spirit companions that have ordered them by this time next week, except for the sun people. I'll probably do that after. So all right, see you next week. Bye-bye.